All right. Good afternoon and happy Sunday to you, Gustav. Happy Sunday.
Thank you so much, Mabel. It's a great, plumping pleasure seeing you again. I know it's been a few years. The last time we
Yes.
were on your platform, what was that, 3 years ago?
Yeah, what's about that? And we talked
I'm
a lot
just so
about,
proud on the progress you've been making.
thank
I've been
you,
seeing how you are growing slowly but very steadily, right?
persistently.
Yes, persistently, slowly,
Persistently.
steadily, and you are slowly building the impact that is required of your time and your generation. You're
Absolutely.
facing your calling head on, and girl, you are not letting anything stop you from that great dream. I'm proud of that.
Thank
Proud
you
of
so
you.
much. Thank you. I must say you do look good.
I will thank you so very much. I try to stay young and relevant. I'll be 50 soon.
Wow. You do not look it.
Well,
God
I'm 48, so I
bless
still got two
you.
more years to go, but
Two
you
more
know how
years,
it
yeah.
goes.
2 whole years, yes, but you do look good.
Yes.
I'm glad to see. Usually women take a lot of time and prep to come on my show, but look at you. I feel like you did take time to prep and go on
And
my show.
believe you me, exactly. No, not really. Actually, I spent a few minutes just trying to make sure my office lighting and
Look at
everything
that.
was set. I
Yeah.
started preparing for the show right about 11:40. Somewhere there, I dashed in the shower 5 minutes. I was too, got dressed, and here I am. I
Yeah.
like it that way because it keeps my blood pumping and then it gets the best juices out of me. Right? Every
Um,
time I have an hour to talk to you on your platform, I want to leave everything on it
I
because I
appreciate
might
that.
never have a chance again. The way you're getting popular, big, the Opera of Africa. I don't know the next time I'll be blessed to be on this channel, so I better give it my best now so I can be called again.
Let's do talk to me, Africa. Africans are doing great things. I am so proud of Africans like yourself. I'll say myself, who are out there pouring out information, just helping the world to know certain things and making our world a better place from wherever we are. So thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your time.
No, the honor, joy, and pleasure is mine. Let's do this.
Let's do this. All right. So we want to talk about your newest brainchild, the
Oh, the
seeker.
see. Look at you. I didn't even know you were going to go in that direction. Huh? Yes. Hey, I'm glad. I know you've been reading it. What do you think?
Ah, I love it.
You do.
I love
Awesome.
it. One of my
Awesome.
favorite authors have been Wayne Dyer. I'm sure you know about Wayne Dyer.
Oh,
And
yes.
I see a lot of, concepts in this book. So to me,
Correct.
this book is a reminder
Yes.
of
That's
what
good.
I have had in me, but I
Yes.
need to be reminded. Just like feeding your body and taking shower every day, it's a reminder, right? You already know you have to
Correct.
do it, but you remind
Yes.
yourself. And so if you don't take that action, you forget about it. It doesn't serve any purpose to you or anybody else. So thank you
Absolutely.
for putting this baby together. I love it.
No, you're welcome. And it's been a labor of love, Mabel. It took me 12 years from conception to finally bringing this material out there.
Mhm.
And those 12 years has been work, dropping into the back burner, getting into IT, working full time, multiple different businesses. But I always knew in me that the one thing I would regret the most if I don't get to do is leave my philosophies, my ideas, my knowledge, and a template which other people who come after me don't need to go through the whole process to get to where we are. You see,
Template.
and why I got so inspired, especially to write this book, is because I remember in the year 2012. In
Mm-hmm.
2008, I had come to America in the year 2000. I became an LVN 2 years later. I worked hard, put together $90,000, went down to the University of California in Berkeley. I completed a graduate program in international business and marketing. I left 3 days after I graduated, flew back to Africa to go do business with my
Mm-hmm.
uncle. We're opening a natural health product company and we're delivering natural health products like ginkgo biloba, noni fruit, mangosteen, all those natural healing products. We actually had a business distributing that across Nigeria, Congo, Gabon, Central Africa. And 3 days after I finished University of California in Berkeley, I flew back to Africa to go work on this project. It was close to my heart. I was there for 3 years. My family was living in Minneapolis, Minnesota at that time. And I kept grinding. And 3 years later, things didn't work out the way I hoped. So I had to pack up, come to the US, came back to Minneapolis full time. And I was beaten, Mabel. I was broken. I was angry, frustrated. I didn't only look at the fact that I had failed at something because my mind was still a little immature. I felt like I was a failure and not the project was a failure. I filed for bankruptcy, paid over 100,000 to the bankruptcy court. I foreclosed on 2 homes. If not of the fact that at least I still had something of value, I would have also foreclosed on my wife. But by God's grace, she kept believing in me. Right?
We
But
love
long
your
and tall of
wife.
the story is this.
Wow.
During that time, when I was trying to recover from the shock and the
Mm.
beating of putting your heart and soul into something and it doesn't work out, right? I wasn't only broke, but I was broke mentally. I was destitute. In my mind, I needed to rally my spirit again. I needed to believe again that it was possible. And during those times, some people spoke to me like Jim Rohn, like Wayne Dyer, like Les Brown, like
Miles
Eric
Monroe, maybe.
Thomas,
Yeah.
right? Like the great Dr. Miles
Miles
Monroe.
Monroe.
These guys were speaking to my spirit every day, and that is how I was able to recover, regain myself, and fight again another day to be where I am. So when I had the idea to write this book 12 years ago, I told myself, Gustav, if not anything in your life, you must leave behind something that somebody too can look at it and get inspired someday. Because some of the videos of people like Jim Rohn I watched were videos he recorded in Sacramento, California in 1984. And this is 2012, 2014, 30 years later. It
Later.
is still speaking to me.
Mhm.
So I challenged myself. I said, Gustav, what is it that you know? What is it that you have in you that you can also leave so that some people can benefit from it and it will speak to their life when they're in the times of danger and
Yeah.
trouble? That's how I came about the seeker.
Hmm.
Yes,
We're
that's
going to
how
talk
I came
about this in
about.
detail, but when you talked about leaving a template behind, it reminded me of Dr. Miles Monroe. He said that the richest place on the earth is a graveyard
Yes.
because
It,
people die with so much in them. And you
absolutely.
thinking ahead of time, let me leave something behind that is going to serve as a template. I love the word template, by the way. Not
Yes.
the exact yardstick, but a
No, 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 it's a
template.
template.
Take this and make it your own.
Make it your
Love
own.
that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's even more relevant in the times we live. Because,
Mhm.
like you said, a lot of people are born, they grow, they work, they live, they die without ever pursuing some of the things that are close to their heart.
Mhm.
Most people actually die at 30, they only get buried at 75.
Yeah.
Because by that age, they've lost belief in themselves.
Mhm.
They've given up on the dreams. They've
Mhm.
given up on those gifts and purpose that God laid only in their heart. Because they say dreams are not what you see when you go to sleep. Dreams are those things that will not let you sleep in the first place.
Mhm.
So when you are in that point in your life, when you know in you know that there is something more, despite the circumstances of your economy, you know there is something more.
Mhm.
Despite the circumstances of your employment, you know there is something more in
You
you.
know,
Despite the thunder that is hitting you, you know there is something
thing.
more. When I was foreclosing on my home in 2012, my wife was crying, my kids are disjointed. I told them there is something more. And there is no other way but to pursue the music that you're listening to and that the spirit of the Almighty's grace is playing in your heart.
Mhm.
Because I really believe, Mabel, especially as why I really respect and appreciate your platform, is because you are dedicated to not only empower, but to make sure that as Africans, we fight for the respect and recognition
We deserve. Yeah.
we have been begging for too long.
I agree.
And I believe that for our continent to get to the table of respect, people have to start doing some of the things that they are born to do.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because that is where your excellence exceeds everybody's, where there is no competition.
Yeah.
And what you do, your music shows, and I just laugh. I say, this girl is in her element. This is what she was born to do. I am happy that she finds the courage to do that.
So happy doing it. So
Yes.
joyful. Gives you peace. Then you know.
Yes.
Like you say, only you know
Yes.
is what you really were
Yes.
born to do. Maybe
Absolutely.
distractions out there,
Absolutely.
but only you know. Beautiful introduction. But let me introduce you as an author so we can talk more about the book.
Absolutely.
I love this book. So Gustav B. Achu, you are a Cameroonian-born speaker. You are an investor and a legacy coach who migrated to the United States in the early 2000s. And your experience as an immigrant combined with your diverse professional background as a nurse, marketing and IT professional, community organizer, inspirational speaker, and peak performance mindset coach has equipped you with a unique perspective on overcoming life setbacks and achieving success. With 20 or over 20 years of extensive experience working with national leaders, high-stake executives, brands, companies in Africa and around the world, you have adopted the phrase, "You are enough."
Yes.
Talk about that more. You adopt this phrase to convey your belief that
Yes.
anybody can design their life purposefully, regardless of their position.
Correct.
Wow, that is deep.
Yes. And I
So
mean,
you are enough. Are we really enough?
yes. And listen, let me tell you how I came up, first of all, with that slogan, Mabel. And it came purely out of my own experiences in life. It came purely out of the fact that I realized coming to America, especially, that a lot of what I needed was already in me. The differentiating factor was that I hadn't told my mind and my subconscious to believe that I deserve a place on the table of greatness.
Tell
That I
yourself.
deserve to pursue what my purpose is, and that I could be an outstanding piece of the area of my purpose and expertise. You see, the continent we come from, one of the biggest challenges immigrants face, especially coming into America, is a lack of confidence and self-belief. It's not skills. Skills can be taught. Skills can be learned. Easy. I came from Cameroon. I have a degree in law. I came to America. I went to nursing school, graduated, finished from nursing school, started working as a nurse. I went back to business school, went, tried businesses. It failed, came back, went into IT. That is to tell you skill is not a problem. I was an IT professional for over 12 years. If somebody told me 25 years before that I'll be a computer expert, I would say no. So skill is not the problem. The key is the self-belief. Do you believe that you are who you say you are or you think you are?
Yeah.
That is where you are enough out of. It's a funny story, but I was actually sitting on the pot in the bathroom. And I said, but Gustav, I had just come back from Cameroon, from Africa. Business had failed. Nothing is looking good. I had about $800. I came out, overstayed my green card. So they held me at the airport. I paid a penalty of about $700. So by the time I was coming into the car for my wife to take me home, I had only about $60 in my pocket. And so after I started listening to some of these people speaking to my spirit and finding a way forward, that day I was just sitting on the pot in the morning, and it just occurred to me that, Gustav, you know what? Despite all of these things, you are enough. You are able. You are capable. You are strong. You are smart. You have what it takes. Because there is an MIT study that says, Mabel, if I tell you you cannot do it, I have to tell you 16 times that you can do it to erase that one time that I said you cannot do it.
Yeah.
That's how powerful mindset is. So I talked to myself. I said, but what is the one thing that in a single expression can encompass not only the fluff of just words, but go straight into a human being's heart and their spirit to remind them in a way that things out of their spirit cannot break it. And that's when I came up with the expression, you are enough.
And it seems to have been born at a time when you had hit, should I say, rock bottom?
Yes.
Okay. Now, for people who don't know you, they don't know that your father was such a great man in Cameroon.
Right.
He served the country until he died.
Yes.
And people who grew up in Cameroon at that time will say, but Gustav, you were a well-made child. You were set. And so it's easy for you to say you are enough because maybe you had some reserves somewhere, right, that you could tap into as the child of the great Achidi Achu. Now, speak as the child of Achidi Achu. Speak to a child born in, let me say, Kombone in Cameroon
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
does not even have the hope
Mm-hmm.
of
Mm-hmm.
going to Yaoundé someday,
Mm-hmm.
how can
Mm-hmm.
you tell that child that you are enough for them to believe
You
in it?
know, I think you hit a very, very important point. And in all fairness, right, Mabel, in all fairness, number one, I am very grateful. I am blessed. I'm happy, and I'm greatly privileged that
Yes.
by some design of the great God and the Almighty, I came to a man like that. I could have come to anybody else, honestly.
Mhm.
That's one. But the most important thing, I think, and that is why, to me, my father is my greatest hero because he taught me and us, his children, a few lessons in life. There was no point in our life growing up in different situations, even when my father was prime minister in Cameroon, that we felt any different. He never gave us a chance to feel like we're privileged or to
Mhm.
feel like there was something different or to feel like we were entitled to something. We will get out of school and we would spend at most 2 to 3 weeks of a of a long third term, they
Let
call it in
holiday.
Cameroon,
Mhm.
which is summer holidays in the US, right? That is 3 months of holiday. Maximum is about 2 to 3 weeks we'll spend in the Yaoundé. The rest of the time we are on the farm in Santa.
Oh,
Of course, as
wow.
a young man, I hated that. I felt like he was punishing us, but I didn't realize that he was planting a seed, which is very powerful. Because here is the deal: my grandfather was a respectable person in Santa, but nothing like my father. My father paved a way for himself by his humility, by his hard work, by his determination, and by the things that he designed to pursue in his life that I think that he was born to do. And so as I grew up, I learned from him that you know what? It's important to number one, don't have a mindset of entitlement. And number two, go after the things that you are born to do.
Mhm.
Let me ask you a very, very simplistic question, right?
Mhm.
If it was truly a life of privilege, I didn't have no reason to come to America. I didn't have no reason working as a nursing assistant in
True.
Presbyterian homes for over
True. Yeah.
2 years. I didn't have no reason going to LVN school to become an LVN. I
True.
didn't have no reason going back to business school. I didn't have no reason going back to Africa to try to do business because the music that was playing in my soul is a music of Gustav. You are blessed that you came through him. He's given you some good things, but you also have to build something that also will continue to perpetuate if you've learned something from your mentor.
Absolutely.
I remember one time, this was in 2000 and about a year or two before my dad passed away. And he came visiting me here in Texas. And we sat in this office I'm sitting in. And we're having a conversation. He's looking through my library of books and we're chatting. He had his pajamas on. And he turned around suddenly and he said, Gustav, my son, how come you've never asked me for anything?
Wow.
How come you've never asked me for money? You've never asked me to put you somewhere. You've never asked me to do things that typically a child might ask the parents for, right?
Especially those who
That-
think they're privileged, they're
yes,
deserving, they're
yes, that
entitled.
they're entitled to it.
Yeah, because
I
I
said,
mean, coming from Cameroon, my father is a prime
correct,
minister, you would
correct,
expect them to just be handed down everything.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And he said, my son, what do you want from me? Tell me today. What do you want me to do for you? I said, Daddy, I got everything I want. Number one, I got the greatest blessing that you're my father. So naturally, that already puts me in a place where I have a great mentor ahead of me. Number two, you made sure that you have a good name. And number three, if there is any grace that is going to pursue you for the good works of your heart, for the good things you've done, not only for your country, but for individuals across your country and the world, I believe that by some order of life, a piece of that grace might follow me if I do the right things. And the right things are working hard, staying humble, have no sense of entitlement, work to build a legacy, and work in the honest possible way you can. And those are some of the things I learned from him. And so I totally understand where you're coming from because this is totally opposite to what anybody would imagine.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And even when our father died, I have no inheritance. There's
People
no
will not
inheritance.
believe that.
I don't
Yeah.
have no piece of land somewhere
Yeah.
he left for
People will
me.
not believe
I don't
that.
have no house he left for me. There is no money in no bank he left. He didn't. Because anybody who knew him knows that and I say this with a lot of reserve because it's coming from me. It may be a little biased, but he is the kindest human being I ever met in my life.
I had that. I had a classmate when we were in University of Boya in journalism department. He talked about your father. She talked about your father a
Yeah.
lot. I think she was from Santa. She just talked about how
Yes.
philanthropic he was. I mean, I was a young student. Or what did I know? Prime Minister period. But she
Money
was
didn't
already,
mean anything to him.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was just a conduit, it was a tool. So, but anyways, that's a little bit of my background. And
Mm-hmm.
those are the things that fuel me. Those are the things that keep me awake at night because I tell myself, Gustav, you're 48 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, average men in America live to 74.
Mm-hmm.
Only 1 in 5 men make it to 85, 90 years old. So you don't have too much time to leave a legacy. You got to work on it. That's why I work exclusively on the things that are aligned with my purpose. And I
Solid.
encourage people to do that. And I have programs where I teach people specifically to uncover their purpose, work on it, and build a life of legacy.
Work on the
Because
things
a
that
lot
align
of
with your
us,
purpose.
yes, because a lot of us immigrants, especially, come to America and we forget that at the end of the day, the most important thing people always regret at the end of their life is not having done enough in the line of their purpose and leaving a legacy.
I agree.
Everything else is hot air, maybe.
Yes, totally agree. Well, Ruth
Yes.
Lange says that great conversation. I love Gustav's story and his passion. And somebody just posted, this is serious. I'm sure it's about the inheritance.
Oh, yeah. 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 Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
again, like I'm from the outside,
I
right?
totally, and that's why you see, I'm a very private person. I don't talk about one of the most embarrassing things for me in my life for a long time, even when I was in university, coming up, even in America. My friends know that about me. I don't like to be introduced with that leading statement.
Yes,
I want
yes.
people to take me for who I am. I don't want people to consider me based on who
Oh,
my dad
your
was. I'm very
father.
proud of it. There's no
Yes.
question. But he taught me, even the person who I benefited from his grace and his name was
Mhm.
never proud, was never arrogant, was kind, was humble. My dad will listen, his car will break down and he will get into a cab. This is the vice president of the Senate. I don't know if it makes sense. We'll
Makes
be
sense.
driving on the road and he sees a group of handicapped people in a wheelchair. He will get his car across the road, come out of his car, come sit with them, order some granite on the road. They eat together. He will give them money. I learned those things because I was close to him. I was always with him, going to places. And he instructed me on my own life to understand that if the person who built it is humble, is not entitled, is not arrogant, who am I?
Who am I?
Who am I? Who am
Right.
I?
Yeah.
Who am I? What have I done? What have I delivered? I still have to deliver my own destiny. I have to. If I have learned anything from him, then I have to use that as inspiration. I have to use that as motivation. I have to use that as guidelines with the fundamentals, understanding that at the end of the day, it's always about the human connection. It's always about human connection. It's always about understanding that it is not how the journey started, it's how it ends.
Mm-hmm.
He played his time, it's our time now. What are we doing with it?
What are we doing with it
So
from now?
if you're talking about a child in Santa, you're talking a child in Kumbe, you're talking about a child in Moyuka, the one thing I want to encourage everybody is we're living in a very privileged time today. In a privileged time because the world is connected thanks to technology.
The global village.
Yes. And what technology really does is that technology gives you a chance to expose yourself to a global marketplace. I
Mm-hmm.
have a gentleman in Cameroon who I know. This guy is in Douala and he does something called sand art. He will take your picture and he will take glue and put on a cloth, right? And then he will sand out the image. Beautiful. I've never seen anybody do that.
Wow.
He would do that stuff. How did I know him? Because he did that stuff, put it on Facebook, and people were urging from all over the world. I don't know if it makes sense.
That makes sense.
So
That does make
whatever
sense.
it is that you have as a gift, whatever it is that the music is playing in your heart, which is your purpose, understand that the easiest thing today is to make yourself known to the world.
Yeah.
That is key.
Mm-hmm.
That is key, Mabel. We are talking today on Facebook Live. You are going to be streaming us on YouTube. YouTube has 2.7 billion
Million.
active
Yeah.
users, which means the world is 8 billion people, which means more than 1.5 of every, no, that's one quarter of eight. So that's about 2.5 or something of every, out of every 8 human beings on earth, 2.5. No, out of every 10 human being on earth, 2.5 is actively on YouTube. So what it really means is that if you are making the best African design shoes, for example, and you're in Cameroon,
Mm-hmm.
you just need to expose yourself to 0.000000000% of that 2 point something billion people. That will be 100,000 people,
Yeah,
and you will still make a good living,
you will.
right? It is
Absolutely.
important for us to understand this concept. I know we'll come back to the Sika, but these are
Yeah.
concepts I talk about in the Sika a
They
lot.
are all in the seeker. We're not
Yes,
diverting at all, people, or
exactly.
digressing. This
These
is
are
really good.
concepts because we have to understand something, Mabel. A few years ago, I was on a podcast and I said something, and a lot of people considered it a little bit uh, controversial. I said, when you look at every country in the world and every society that has developed significantly,
Mm.
the reason why, one of the reasons they developed is that a lot of people who helped move the society forward didn't work only on things that generated money. They worked on things that they believe was they are called to do.
Mhm.
Right? Because
And I'll
think
get to
about
your
it.
questions online. There are questions for you already. So let's just, I
Oh,
want people
really?
to hang tight. People, don't leave yet. Hang tight. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Because when you think about it, I take an example, the Wright brothers, who were actually known in history as
Mm.
designing the airplane. I
Yep.
don't think they were thinking about making billions from the
No.
airplane. All they were thinking about is, boy, there's a problem. People, why do we go by cars and horses and cars? What about we design something that could fly? And that's
Mm-hmm.
how they did.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So there have to be this strong desire in your heart to pursue the gift or the purpose that you believe you're called upon.
Yeah.
Because when you do that, it creates an impact that is long lasting beyond you. You see, I talk a lot about legacy. And the reason I talk a lot about legacy is because as a people, I believe when we start thinking about legacy, about building something, about planting a tree under whose shade you will never sit, you start making decisions that have nothing to do with present gratification. Because
Tree
there's
under
only so
which
much
you
you can
never sit.
gratify
Plant
yourself
a
with.
seed for a tree under which you never sit. That's a very good way to look at it. You don't have to be the benefactor of
No,
whatever
you
you
don't
do
have to.
today.
This the countries and the societies that have moved forward in this life and are doing significant things, a lot of the people who are benefiting from things that people who build it didn't benefit. We
Absolutely.
must see it like that. And the truth of the matter is gratification is short-lived. And there's so how much can you eat, Mabel? How many
No,
cars
not,
can you
yeah,
have?
not a lot.
How many makeup sets? How many
Yeah.
how you
How many cars
cannot.
can you drive at once? Yeah.
So the key here is purpose and legacy.
Mm.
Once you focus on those two things, a lot becomes clearer in your life. You
Mm-hmm.
realize why you have to wake up in the morning. You realize why you will never fall prey to the statistic. Because
Mm.
84% of all heart attacks happen on Monday mornings. You know why? Because people wake up and they're going to jobs that they hate. I'm not saying don't go to a job. No, I am just saying whatever job you are doing, make sure you're also working on your purpose. You
Yes,
must be aligned.
yes,
So that at
absolutely.
some point, if it becomes necessary and relevant, you can.
Mm-hmm.
You see, purpose is so important
Mm.
because that is the compass. That
And
is what
somebody
gives
is asking you,
energy.
how do I know my purpose? You say purpose is so
What's that?
important. Somebody is asking you, how do I know my purpose?
Wonderful. That's a very good question.
Yeah, it's so important. People, we're here to talk about this book, The Seeker by Gustav Achu. And we are talking about the book because whatever he's talking about here is all in this book. I urge you to get a copy of this book. Never think you know enough. Like I said
Yeah.
earlier, the concepts in this book I have been aware of, but the reminder and the
Yeah.
simple way in which you put them speaks so much to me as a Cameroonian because I can see a Cameroonian brother when I read it. So please get your copy on Amazon. It's really important. So how do you know your purpose?
Absolutely. I mean, to me, it's a very, very simplistic. It's a simple process, but it's not easy.
Mm.
What I mean by that is it's a combination of three things to me. Number one, what is what is it that you have a skill and a
Yes.
gift for?
Mhm.
And I'll tie this all together, it'll make sense. What is it that you have a skill and a gift for? Number
Yeah,
one.
gift. Mhm.
Number two, what is it that you have a passion for? Number two. And when you have the skill and the passion, can you bring that to the marketplace for impact? Impact means, can it serve somebody else? Number three. Let me put it down this way now. Let me talk about my own self. From a very young age, secondary school, from 2, from 3, I was the one people always call up to make announcements. I was the one who would organize dance show in class. I was
So
the
call
one
you
who
show.
MC that, do this, speak, right?
Yeah.
All the way till even when I came to the US, it's while I was in the US that I realized, number one, I had a gift for communication. Number two, my passion is to be able to go past people's minds and touch their heart and spirit in a place that can ignite a revolution for them to do what they're called upon to do in this life and don't die with their music in them.
Wow.
And number three, I realized there is a marketplace for that. I could be an MC and request people to pay me for that. I could be a public speaker and request people to pay me for that. But here is the deal. A lot of times, to develop that gift you have, it takes time to fine-tune it to the point of excellence. I don't know if I make sense.
Definitely
It
practice.
takes time to fine-tune it to the point of excellence where you can demand a certain amount of payment for it. Let me give you an example. Recently, I had 2 fundraisers I participated in. Okay? They hired me to come and raise funds for them because I do a lot of fundraisers now. All right? And my MC contract when I'm doing fundraisers is very simple. To cover my transportation, my hotel, I tell you the kind of hotel I stay in. It has to be a Marriott, it has to be a Hilton. I tell you the kind of car I drive for rental. And then I tell you the kind of airlines I use. I give you a bill for my logistics, generally somewhere about $4,000 to $5,000. And then I have a percentage of the money I raise. It's simple. If you don't want that, it is fine.
Yeah.
But that is what I believe I've taken 17 years to fine-tune.
Definitely.
I've worked on my purpose. I've fine-tuned that gift to the point where I can command that and even more. I don't know if it makes sense.
Definitely makes sense.
Inviting me to come do a keynote speech, the least you're going to give me is $10,000 to $15,000 for an hour. You know why?
Why?
Because I've also gone to events where Les Brown came and spoke for 1 hour and they paid him $275,000.
Yeah,
But it
absolutely.
didn't happen. He took 40 years to fine-tune that gift.
Les
So
Brown is
what the
wonderful.
challenge is,
Yeah.
a lot of people, number one, are afraid to work on identifying their purpose because it takes a little more sacrifice and risk. But the purpose is actually a liberation.
And is there also a fear of rejection? Because if you present that bill to somebody, when they say that's too much and they deny you what you're asking for, people get sometimes afraid of coming forth with what they have as their purpose and give. They know they have it because you said you are the one who knows. You know when you know that that's yours, right? But is it the fear of coming forward with what you believe is yours and asking and then getting rejected?
You make a very good point. You make a very good point, Mabel, because a lot of people have something they call limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs is the conversations you have in yourself, giving reasons why you are not, instead of giving reasons why you are. This is how I look at it simply. Let me explain. Let me give you a simple example. And let me tell you, this is what revolutionized the way I look at certain things when it comes to, for example, let me say doing my contract. I went to a fundraiser one time. This is like 8, 9 years ago, probably not 8 years ago. And this was the Cape Town Association of Atlanta. My friend Scott Nyambi invited me to that event. I wasn't even the MC. I came to that event and I gave a keynote speech for about 17 minutes. And the highest donor at that event that night, there's a lady, she lives in California at that time. I forget her name, Susan Sally or something. That lady ended up challenging the group that any amount of money they raise, she is going to double that amount. right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I have a big brother of mine who was sitting on the same table with her. And after the event, my big brother came and congratulated me for my speech. And he told me that while they were sitting on that table, the lady had said she was planning to give about $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
But after I spoke, she decided to match any amount of money that they were going to raise.
Wow,
So the
that's
question I
beautiful.
asked myself, is it about 15 minutes or is it about impact? So in that 15 minutes, even though it was gratis, I did it on behalf of my friend Scott Nyambi and Jele Victor and a few guys that Ekongwashi, Changwashi. Those are guys I went to CPC with. So I told myself, you know what? I'm going to do this for my community. Let me just go help my guys. So
Mm-hmm.
in that instance, if I had charged them $5,000, would it be too much? It wouldn't be, because I've helped them raise $75,000
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
just by the words I use, by the motivation, by the inspiration, by driving people to feel different in their heart.
Yeah.
Now that instructed me to say, Gustav, because what happens is that when you're working on your purpose, it's never about time, it's about
Mm-hmm.
impact.
Mm-hmm.
You see, what happens is, because we are conditioned, right? Most of the jobs we all do, we are paid by time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Clock in, clock
I'm
out.
an LVN. I make $35 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I work in
Mm-hmm.
McDonald's. I make $10 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an IT professional. I make $70 an hour. I make $80 an hour. I'm an NP. I make maybe 120. I'm a certified registered nurse and anesthetist. I make 275. So we have been pre-programmed to tie our impact to time.
Yeah,
I don't know if it makes sense.
definitely do.
But
Yeah.
now when you're working on things that you can generate value,
Mm.
it's not about time. It's about impact, man.
About impact.
It's about impact. That is why a guy can pay a lesbian
Yeah.
$250,000 to come and speak for 1 hour.
Mm-hmm.
Because when he speaks for that hour, lives change.
Impact happens.
So when you identify your purpose,
Mm-hmm.
then you start fine-tuning it. That's when you get that superpower now where you can impact people for their lives to change.
Amen.
If by the end of this podcast we're doing today and people watch it over the next multiple number of months, my fervent belief is that somebody will listen to this podcast and make a decision that I have to start working on uncovering my purpose, working on my gift, and finding a way to build a lasting
That's
legacy.
great. Amen. Yeah.
Even when you are holding down the regular job, you have to. I
Mm-hmm.
am pro job. I love jobs. Jobs have helped us. A lot of times when I speak, people misconstrue and believe that I think,
You
no, no,
don't
no,
want
no.
them to have
I'm
a
no, no,
job.
no,
No.
no, 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 no.
Mm.
I just did a program last
Yeah.
week called Paycheck to Prosperity. Most people are going to become millionaires through jobs. Nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
I teach people how to leverage their paychecks to build millions in their life, right?
Yeah.
But the key thing is that in that process too, it is important to identify your work,
Mm-hmm.
because there is a difference between your job and your work.
Absolutely.
Your
Yes.
job is what you are paid to do. Your work is what you are born to do. You
Yeah.
can be fired from your job. You can never be fired from your
From your
work.
work.
Your job is the remuneration. Your work is your legacy.
Mm.
I don't know if it makes sense.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
I remember I
So that's
listened
what
to
we're
Maya
talking about.
Angelou. Maya Angelou said something. She said on Oprah show, she said that your legacy is not the buildings that you leave behind. It's the people's lives that you're going to touch.
That's it.
When you are not there and they see a building, Gustav building, what does that do? But if somebody had left a session with some impact from what you said, that
Yes.
they will carry with them
Le-
forever, not that building. So that's great.
And let me tell you why this is important, Mabel. Let me tell you. There's a gentleman, this guy is a Cameroonian, right? And trust me, I communicate, write very well. I speak excellently well. I don't know, they call it blogging. He's a blogger, okay? I don't know of anybody who writes like that guy. I just was here about a month ago. He was visiting he lives in, I think, Norway, Denmark. No, he lives in Denmark. He was visiting, it's called Next Dim. Go to
Nexim is
Facebook and
on
check
here
him.
right now. I was going to say that. Shout out to Nexim Empire.
Ooh,
Nexim
it's,
is on here.
no, I can't say what I was going to say. No, oh, come on.
I was going to say shout out because yes,
I didn't even know.
I do. I'm on your
Really?
blog almost every single day. So
Listen,
look, yeah, I agree. I agree. Thank you for
Next Dim, if
joining,
you're on,
Nexim.
man, take your
I need to
flowers,
talk
bro.
to you, by the way. Let's connect.
Yes. Listen, when you read the way he writes,
Mhm.
okay,
Yeah.
you read the flow, you read the the idea evolution, you read the words he uses. Even a third grader will understand,
Yeah.
right? And when he came, he called me, we were chatting. I said, bro, I'm so proud of the work you do. You can never understand. It might not necessarily be giving you the money you want now, but trust me,
Yeah.
it is going to produce.
It
It
will.
might take 5 years, it might take 10 years, but it is because you will get to a level of excellence where the marketplace can no longer ignore you.
Amen. And the thing about next day, I mean, we're not changing the topic right now, is that I am good with verbal communication. You know, I could
Correct.
talk for hours. When it comes to writing, I get tired. But when I'm reading next day, I always read word verbatim to the end. So what you're saying is right. It's true. And there's so
You know
much
why?
data out there that it bothers me to read. But whenever I get to next day, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna read this in detail. And at the end, I smile. So good
And
job.
you know why you read it?
Because
Because
it's
as
very,
you are reading, you are
yeah,
seeing it in your mind's eye.
yeah.
That's
I
the
mean,
difference.
yeah, I'm a graduate from journalism in University of
Correct.
Boya. I studied writing.
Absolutely.
But again, that's
Absolutely.
not my best skill. My
Anyways,
best skill
yes.
is a verbal
It's the verbal
communication. So I
speak
get to
communication.
acknowledge the other side. I had classmates who were good with production. They will stay behind the cameras and do stuff, but that's not me. So you get to know when people are in their lane, and I really appreciate that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Tell us about the fun fact that people don't know about you. What's a fun fact about Gustav people don't know?
I'm a very dangerous striker.
A very dangerous what?
Striker, football player. I can score like crazy. 6'4", 270 pounds. The knees are a little shaky nowadays, but trust me, I can make magic happen. But I can give only 25 minutes now. Yeah, but that's
What?
one. Another thing is, let me see, what's the fun fact? Whew, I enjoy cabarets more than anything else.
I can see that. I can see that. Look at the way your heart even is a cabaret kind of live. Yeah, I can see
Absolutely.
that. You do
Absolutely.
karaoke yourself.
I do. I sing. When I go to the cabaret, I pick up the microphone and I can sing a few Hariti Conge songs. And I hold my own, but I know I can't make a life with that. I knew
Ah,
very early that was not my purpose.
you stay in your lane. Now, in this book,
I knew early that if my entrance to heaven was based on how to sing, I'm certainly heading to Oga Satan's place.
now in this book, you talk a lot about people talking and listening, and you say that many of us love the idea of being influential and just doing big stuff, but not a lot of us move from that thought process to the action stage because it's easier to talk than act on those ideas that pop into your head every day. Why is it easier to talk than act? Why?
Wow, that's a good one. Just a minute here. Let me make sure I lost your video and I like to see
Okay.
you on my computer. Okay, wonderful. Let me tell you, Mabel, that is very powerful, first of all, what you said, right? Because once you understand exactly who you are, number one, what is it that you are destined to do, popularity no longer becomes the goal.
Oh, wow. Yep.
Honestly, I'm not on your platform today because I'm thinking, well, you know what, maybe this might help me get some additional likes and then I become popular. No, I'm not playing for time. I'm
The
playing for
mindset
purpose.
of the person
I'm
who seeks. Yes.
Yes, I'm playing for a purpose.
Yeah.
Purpose means it will take my lifetime to create the impact, and I'll be creating it progressively as I go. So, to me, what we are doing now, the important thing about it is that this is going to last for a long time. So that 20 years from today, somebody can watch this video and find it in their hearts to go out and do something. So, let me tell you why it's easy for people to talk and not act, right? Because talking gives an illusion of progress without really requiring the pain, the risk, and the discipline of action.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm.
want that people to really understand that, right?
Yeah.
Because talking feels safe, acting feels risky.
Mm-hmm.
Talking, you can just talk, right? When you talk, there's no real consequence. There might be, but action, that means you could fail. You can be judged. You might lose money. You might face the truth about where you really are.
Mm-hmm.
And that is when that conversation starts in your head about the fact that it's not the project that you failed on, is that you're a failure. I
Wow.
talked earlier about the challenges I faced when went to do business in Africa. I failed woefully. I lost my two homes to foreclosure. I paid over 100 and something thousand to the bankruptcy court. I was broken. My family shopped in Goodwill for over 3 years in a thrift store. But during that time, the challenge to me was being able to separate my mind to understand that I failed at that endeavor, but I wasn't a failure in life. Right? So talking feels fail. Another thing is that talking gets validation. Action takes time. Unfortunately, Unfortunately, action takes time because it takes time to build. I'll give you the example of next day, as I told you. When I was talking to him, he told me he started doing what he's doing in 2012. That is 13 years ago, for God's sake. It's only
Wow.
now that we are getting to know him.
Yeah.
So people know the story, but they understand the glory, but they don't know the story.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So talking requires a certain validation, but action takes time to get there,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And also, when you are talking, the mind has this dopamine hit. Dopamine is that I'm not a science student. I failed chemistry in Form 2. By Form 3, I knew I could never pass math in O level, right? But dopamine makes you feel like you've already achieved it without really achieving it,
Yeah,
right?
that yeah.
Because research really says, talking your goals can give you the same satisfaction as making progress, even if you haven't started in anything. Just talking about your goals gives you the same satisfaction as if you're making progress, even though you haven't lifted a finger yet. You haven't
Mm-hmm.
started doing anything on it. It tricks your brain,
It
right? So
does.
when
Yeah.
you're talking, you are generating this dopamine in your body, and it tricks your brain to believe that you are already winning the race. Meanwhile, you haven't even registered for it, right? And then action. Talking protects you, but action
Mm.
exposes you.
Exposes you.
Action means ownership.
Yeah.
You can't blame the system,
Comes with
the weather, or
accountability.
your
Yeah.
parents.
Mm-hmm.
Accountability, it's all on you.
It's all on you.
It's all on you, right? But talking lets them let someone might feel smart in theory. They might feel like, they already got it under control, right? Action requires sacrifice. Talking doesn't.
Hmm.
Yes, because
Okay.
action requires that you have to stay away from distractions. You have to
Yeah.
wake up earlier. You have to budget. You have to take risks. You have to invest. You have to be willing to fail. That is real stuff. Talking doesn't. Talking is enough for the 1 hour you're talking or whatever you meet in the barbecue. You share all these great ideas and nothing happens.
And it's actually the reason why some people would, miss their purpose because they fail to put whatever they think they're going to do, talk about into action. So do we miss our purpose because we fail to take action sometimes?
99% of the times. Let me tell you why. Every human being, every day, comes up with 4 different ideas in their head. Okay. At the end of the year, a human being has an average of about 10 solid ideas.
Mm-hmm.
One of which, if they put to action persistently over time, can make them a millionaire.
Yeah.
So the question is, why don't you pick one or two and work on it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is the question. The question is what? It's because of the things I've already talked about.
Yeah.
Because action is risky.
It is
Action
risky.
exposes you. Action will make people judge you. Let me tell you something, Mabel. The question you asked me in the beginning, I love that question. I love the opportunity to talk about that because it clarifies a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm trying to say? And to me personally, if you are going to achieve anything significant with your life, number one, you must develop a thick skin.
Yeah.
Number two, you must learn that the people who are closest to you, the people who know you, will be the last people to believe in you because you haven't proven anything yet. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong. A lot of times it's just a projection of their own limitations.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why I have a simple prayer I make over my daughters.
Mm-hmm.
I don't pray anything complex for my children and all the children that are under my tutelage. I put my hand over their head and I say, God, protect them every day. Open the eyes of their spirit to identify their gift and their purpose and give them the courage to pursue that in their life.
That's powerful.
The reason why is because as a people, we would never be able to move a step forward until a lot of us start pursuing the things that we are called to do with our lives.
That's powerful.
I don't know if it makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense. That's
When we
powerful.
listen to all the
Well,
beautiful stories out there, the Bill Gates started from a garage. This
mm,
one started this. That one started this, right?
mm,
It doesn't only tell about the struggle from the beginning, but it tells about a consented and intentional determination to work on the thing that you're seeing in your mind spirit, even though it is not real yet.
even though it's not real yet.
Because
Yes.
if you're waiting for it to be real, it will
Yeah.
never happen.
You have to see
Because
it
it's
with your
like
mind's eye.
you there's a when you go, for example, in a hotel, right? Like
Mm,
Waldorf Astoria, it has two double sliding doors.
mm-hmm.
And I got there one time and I told myself, Gustav, you know what? I'm going to find a way to make these double doors stay open at the same time. So I tried to be in that middle balance where the furthermost one is open and the one I just came through is open. But it never happens. What it means is that you will go through the first door, and before the second door is trying to open, the first door is closing. That is how your purpose, that is how achievement, that's how success in
Mm-hmm.
life to create impact is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You got to give up something. You can't
Yeah.
climb to the banda, as we say, where we keep dry corn with corn in both hands. It cannot work.
This is
Something
talk to me
must
Africa, and
give.
I love African proverbs. So I when you go there, it just pleases me so much.
Okay? That is because listen, my dear, they say what? They say if a cat dreams of becoming a lion, it must be willing to give up its appetite for rats.
Ah, that's deep.
Ah,
This again,
ah,
this is Talk to Me Africa. One of the best things
ah,
on this show is I
ah,
always ask my guests to bring an African proverb. So do not go anywhere. Gustav has a proverb for us at the end. He can give 15 right now, but there'll be one.
right?
Oh, wow.
So,
Huh.
so when I look at some of these things, baby, all I'm just trying to say, right, is
Mm,
it is important for us to also be willing to increase our risk threshold.
yeah. Mm,
I
yeah.
don't know if it makes sense. Because
Definitely
I
makes
ask
sense.
myself some fundamental questions. Take America, for example. The Department of Education statistic says that over 40% of African immigrants coming into America have at least a GED.
Yep.
Over, I think 20 something, close to 30% have college education and college degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Another 16 or 19% have advanced degrees. This is about 10 years ago, I read this statistic, so it might have changed now
Yeah,
significantly.
definitely.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We are very beautiful people, cultured people. We carry ourselves nicely. We dress good. Why aren't we great? Why? Why aren't we senators? Why aren't we all these different things, right? I was having a conversation yesterday with a group of friends. I said, you know what? Only in my generation, my class alone from CPC, my high school class from CPC alone, we have about 25 to 30 medical doctors in different practices. So take the other schools, Sase, all these other schools.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow we don't have no African hospital in America,
Mm-hmm.
Canada.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why? We have all these engineers working for NASA, for Microsoft, all these great companies.
Mm-hmm. There's Waspito, this Cameroonian guy who has created Waspito, which is doing great electronically. You can get doctors
Mhm.
to serve you wherever. So I hope that we
Correct.
can do more in that domain. But yeah, you have a good
But
question. Why
all
aren't
I'm
we
just
doing
trying to get
more?
at, my dear, is that there is no way we are going to make a
Yeah,
dent
yeah.
with our continent if we don't start working on the difficult and really meaningful stuff. I have a good friend of mine. This guy had one of the best advanced level results in the history of Cameroon. Came to America, went to the University of Michigan, finished med school, top of his class. He's a practicing doctor now in Memphis. Great
Mm-hmm.
guy, great family guy, wonderful leader, right? And one time we were talking not too long ago. I said, bro, you know what? At what point are we going to say, at what point are we going to say, you know what? It's just not enough. Because if the dream was to come to America, have a child, marry, buy a nice house, buy a Mercedes, you've already achieved that by the time you're 42. So you're going to live again for another 35, 40 years. So you want to tell me all you just want to do is just go to the hospital where you work, see 15 patients a day, prescribe them whatever it is, follow them up, and just retire and die? Who is going to do research to solve our problems?
Is
Who
it
is
the
going to
problem of
find innovative
collaboration, you
solutions
think?
for our own medical challenges?
Yeah.
There is no way with that intelligence I know you have, you can be applying only 10% of it for a
Mm,
mundane everyday stuff.
mm,
You have to find something challenging to challenge yourself. That's what I'm saying, right? And my own job, my own purpose, my own gift I've identified is being able to uncover, to push you to uncover your own, to
mm-hmm,
force you to scream, to create that emotional jamboree in your heart, to
mm.
create that floodgates to open so you can start seeing it from that bigger perspective. To
Amen.
start understanding that in your little corner, you can only go so far, but
Yeah.
together we can go all the way to the end.
So do you see an issue of collaboration among us that is stopping us from creating these African empires in America? Why not an African, I don't know, conglomerate of clinics in America? Is it an issue of the lack of collaboration?
There are a few facets to that, and I want to speak about it in very measured ways. There are a few facets to that, but the first one is first of all the bigger picture. And I usually like to start with the bigger picture because it gives each and every one to
Mhm.
see what is possible. Do you know? And this is how I also got my instruction on this. This was probably 14 years ago. At that time, for many years, Jeff Bezos was the richest man on earth, the former chairman of Amazon. Even at the time when he was the richest person on earth, he only owned 11% of Amazon. Let that sink in.
That's thinking.
Elon Musk owns only 21% of Tesla. I want that to sink in. What does that mean? It's not about the slice of your cake, it's about the size of the cake. I
Not
would
about the
rather
slice, but about the
of
size, people. Let that sink in. Not about the slice of your cake, but the size of your cake. So it's so
correct
huge that we can all share
and make it big.
and make
People
it
sit
big.
and think, you know what? For every Mark Zuckerberg or Facebook who made how many billions, he produced another 300 billionaires.
Yeah.
They just have 1 billion, 2 billion. Is that
Yeah.
small money? Those were friends, they invested together, they worked together, they started Facebook. I've watched 60 Minutes, a lot of programs. Some of them became angry that the company changed the
I've
culture,
seen that
but they
60
didn't
minutes
give
as
back the
well.
money. They're successful in their own terms, they move on to
Mhm.
different things. Listen, collaboration is the heartbeat of any kind of meaningful impact. You know why? Because we all have our different gifts. I don't know if I make sense.
A
We
lot of
all
sense.
have our different gifts, and there is no way you can do it alone. I am good with what I do. That if I want to write something, I want to put a publication out there that is going to make impact. Even though I write well, why should I be trying to be a good writer when an excellent writer like Next Dim can get it done?
Hmm. And then you edit.
I don't even need to. I give him the concept. He does what he has to do. Because here's the deal, Mabel. I decided at some point in my life, about 8 years ago, that one of the mistakes I had been making, and a lot of people make, is that they try to be good at what they are bad at instead of being great at what they are good at. I want that to
Wow.
sink in.
That is the takeaway of today. You're trying to be good at what you are bad at instead of trying to be excellent at what you're already good at.
Yes.
Word.
Why? Because a lot of people are focused on trying to become better at their weaknesses. Forget it. Become great at their strengths, for God's sake. Become
I
great
had
at
a
their strengths.
manager a few years ago who told us that she doesn't hire just for skills. My manager would get all of us regular workers to interview the next member of our
Yes.
team. And the reason she
Yes.
said was that I want my team to be a bouquet of flowers. Okay.
Yes.
This is a team where you're all meant to be working with this particular app. But are you good at communicating? Can you do presentation? Can you write? So while you're all good at this particular skill, I want somebody who knows the skill but is better at something else to join us so that
Yes.
I see a bouquet at the end of
Yes.
the day.
Yes. So
That's
that
it.
that collaboration is very powerful.
Collaboration is very powerful.
That's one. The other challenge is we need to be able to trust each other, but recognize that big achievements have no guarantees.
Mm,
I don't know if it makes sense.
mhm.
Big achievements have no guarantees. Of course, nothing in life is guaranteed. Not to talk of when you're trying to do something significant. I have been part of multiple fraternities of friends and brothers and sisters. We bring money together to do a business. And then when it's time to go, there's too much analysis. Oh, what if it doesn't work? Yes, it's not going to work. The second one will not work. The third one will not work. The fourth one will not work. The fifth one will, the sixth one will, the seventh one will work. And when that seventh one works, it will make up for everything. We must get that mindset. We must understand that this thing, to play in that game, to get the respect we deserve as immigrants, as Africans in general, even from the continent, we cannot be in a position where we are afraid to take risk. We cannot be in a position where we are only driven by cash benefits. We
Cash
cannot be in a
benefits.
position where the goal of everything we do is based on if I can live in a more comfortable home or if I. No, no, no. Those things are important. But let me tell you what, those are not the things that are changing nations that we are begging from them. There's a reason why Cameroon gave South Korea loans and grants in 1960, and today we're begging from them.
I know.
And that same country is able to produce Hyundai, is able to produce Samsung, is able to produce, what's this other company called? These are global brands.
Yeah.
What changed?
Yeah.
Because they focused on working on those difficult things. We must learn how to work on difficult things, Mabel. I made a decision that for the rest of my life, I worked in IT for 12 years. And about, when is this? What, 2025, 2021, I was driving in Washington, D.C., on New York Avenue, going to the embassy. My father had died here with us, and I was trying to make arrangements at the embassy to repatriate his remains to Cameroon for burial. And I got a call while I was driving. Hello, it's my manager. I said, how are you doing, sir? He said, fine. He said, how are you, Gustav? I said, I feel blessed today. It's an awesome day to be alive. He said, Gustav, I know you took 2 days to go take care of some things for your dad. I'm sorry, I got bad news for you, man. We got to let you go. I'm sorry. Listen, that's the best manager I've ever worked on. I love that guy to death. He had no control over that. That made a decision that they needed to lay off some people for cost benefits and things like that. And that's it. For a minute, I felt how blood dried off my body. I cleared the car by the side of the road after dropping the phone, and I put my head on the steering wheel for about 10 minutes. I felt anger in me. I said to Gustav, you're not only going to bury your hero, the man you look up to, but you're going to be coming back without a job. How are you going to take care of your family? All those stuff. And then after about 10 minutes, I told myself, but Gustav, stop being an irresponsible guy. Come on, man. Stand up, man up. Be a man. You gave them permission to feed you, so you give them authorization to starve you. That's why I talk about the fact that the greatest insecurity in the time we live is the thing they call job security.
Yeah.
That's why everybody must be working on skills that can permit them to generate income without somebody giving them employment.
Amen.
I'm not trying to burst the bubble. That's the reality. Companies no longer want full-time staff. They don't want to take responsibility. They want an employment at will. They fire you when they want, they let you go, right? But it taught me a lesson, Mabel. It told me that, Gustav, you know what? I really had deep introspection with myself. I said, Gustav, look at you. You got the intelligence. You got the skills. You got the oratorical gift. You got all these things. Yes, you've tried different businesses, but you've never really bet on yourself. You've always bet on other people and other companies to give you a job, and you still have, your own business on the side and all of that. What if you bet on yourself? So I made a decision. You know what? I had bet on other companies for about 18 years at that point. I'm going to give myself 10 years and see what my gift, my purpose, my skill, and my calling takes me.
Yeah.
And when I started reflecting on that deeply, I realized, you know what, Mabel? What if when I came to America, somebody guided me to the direction of my gift? Do you think it would have been a problem for me making $2 million
Not
a
at
year?
all. Not at
Do you
all.
think it would have been a problem for you?
Not at all.
So that when I have these conversations on platforms like yours, I become very passionate to me because it's a matter of life and death. We need to understand this big picture. When we don't understand it, it becomes challenging. Our job, if we have to move the needle forward, cannot only remain at the level of personal satisfaction and personal aggrandizement. It can never be there. We are wasting our time. We cannot be wearing all kinds of brands which we don't even own stocks of those companies. We cannot be driving cars with technologies and all kinds of things. We don't own stocks of those companies to generate at least some money from that. And we don't have no plan to ever develop our own. No. That's why when I talk about these things, I challenge people. I challenge my brothers who are engineers. I challenge my brothers who are sociologists. I challenge my sisters who are journalists like you. I challenge my writers who are next team. Let's find the difficult. Let's continue to work on our gifts and solve those difficult problems.
At what point do we realize that it is not working? Let me make a U-turn. You talked about you starting as a nurse, becoming an IT professional. You've spoken to people that their business didn't work. You get to the point where you get what you call job satisfaction, and then somebody calls you and say, we're letting you go, right? Do we wait to get to that point before we say, hey, let me bet on myself? Now, question is, at what point, maybe age-wise, maybe career-wise, at what point, at what age, at what point in our career do we realize that this is not really where I want to be? Let me make a U-turn. A classmate of mine came to America a couple of years ago, and I said, hey, brother, we were talking about something. I said, oh, I do this, I do that. He's like, I'm too old to go to school. I'm like, I don't think so.
No, you're not.
So at what point, the person told me that he's too old to go to school. He can't do that at this point. So my question to you, as a motivational speaker, as somebody who tells people to keep seeking, at what point do we realize that I gotta bet on me? I'm done betting on my employer. Is there a time when people should not do that? Is there a too late time?
Let me put it this way, right? A lot of times, fear keeps us from making that leap. To me, when I look back now, I'm grateful that happened because I had been thinking about it, but I just hadn't mustered the courage yet
to
make that leap. So it's like, this is how I look at it. It's like how the eagle teaches their little eaglet how to fly.
Right, yeah.
The picker, once the eaglet is born in the nest, after a few weeks, they insert spikes in the nest, so it makes it uncomfortable for the eaglet. They put pieces of grass that is spiking up. Then after that, they pick the eaglet up, they drop the eaglet. The eaglet will be falling and they'll try to survive and flap their wings. Then they catch them, bring them back. They keep doing that for a few days. And by the time the eaglet knows it, it's seeking survival and they figure out a way. Now, this comes with a lot of stress. There is no question about that, right? But the truth of the matter is, you can say it is too late. But when you look at the examples like Colonel Sanders, who started Burger King at 62, you look at the guys who started McDonald's at 56, you ask yourself, it is too late because maybe you were doing things that you were not aligned with. Right? And I truly believe that.
I lost your audio. You touched something on your microphone. You touched your mic, the top, and your audio. There you go. You're back.
And yes, I'm sorry about that. Yes, I'm saying that you could say it is too late, but when you look at the Colonel Sanders of Burger King, of this thing chicken, KFC, right? You look at the guys of McDonald's, who Colonel Sanders 62. That's when he made his first million. The guys of McDonald's at 50 something. You have a lot of examples like that, right? You ask yourself, is it too late, or maybe you were aligned with some things that didn't give you your best strength to come forward? You see, when we live only on the minimization of risk instead of the optimization of strength, that's where we find ourselves. A big part of it is programming. Samuel L. Jackson got his first acting role in his 40s.
Yeah.
I don't know if it makes sense. Good. So some guy can be sitting there thinking, I'm not here to say you can do anything you want. No, you got to measure some of the circumstances. But what I'm saying is that for most things that we want to do, if we stay on it consistently, we are going to build the skill, the notoriety, and the ability to be able to get significant remuneration from that.
Right.
And with what is going on today with technology, it has made it even better. I gave the example of YouTube. We are living in a time today where people are looking for solutions. Most people go to YouTube with a question, how can I do this? How can I? So people who have expertise, it doesn't matter what expertise, you can package that expertise into a product that can generate revenue for you.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I made sense.
You do make sense.
Let me tell you something. Last week, I did a training class for a program called Paycheck to Prosperity.
I know, I missed
And
that.
that, exactly. That program was $49 a piece,
Mhm.
right? I had about maybe 20 something people attend, right?
That's
That's the
good.
first program I'm doing in a long time. Okay. That's 20 something people. You multiply by 49, that's about 900 and something dollars or whatever it is. But here is the kicker, Mabel. You know what? I'm going to do it again. I'll do it again. I'll do it again. And there will be a time I'll be back on this platform to tell you that 3,000 people attended.
Ended. Yep.
I don't know
Hmm.
if I make sense.
Absolutely. Yep.
I don't know
Persistence.
if I make sense.
You do make sense. Yeah.
I learned the business of YouTube from a program I paid $4,000 to attend, to learn how the business of YouTube works. A 28-year-old guy comes, he owns the business and he's the one training us, right? And we are 700 of us at $4,000. How much is that? I failed math in Form
Whoa.
3.
All right. Somebody put it in the chat. How much is that? Let
That's
somebody put it in there.
$2.8
That's
million. And he does that 4 times a year. So the question I ask myself is, if I have that skill,
yeah.
there's a psychologist out there, there's a nutrition specialist, there's a nurse, there's an MP. We all have these different skills,
Mhm.
right? There are 2.8 billion people on just one platform.
Yeah.
Companies are shifting their advertisement budget from traditional TV to
So
social media
there you
because
go.
YouTube is bigger than CNN, CNBC, MSNBC, Fox News all put together.
Combined. Yeah. Mhm.
So the question I ask myself, if the young man can bring value to teach people about YouTube, charge $4,000 and have 700 people, and he does that 4 times a year, each time he does it, if he has 700, it's 2.5 million, 2.8. The question I ask myself, of course, if it takes me 10 years to get to that point, then so be it.
So be it.
But the key part is that what? The key thing is that it's not even the money. It's the fact that he was able to build the level of expertise and creating the impact. Then the rest follows naturally. Because I'm creating impact now, part of that is because he created impact in me.
Absolutely.
He gave me knowledge that I'm sharing today. I don't know if it makes sense. So we must think about this bigger picture. We must think about how we want to be remembered at the end of our life.
Yes.
That's why I am very intentional about helping people craft their legacy, helping people design their legacy through leveraging their purpose. Nobody ever said their purpose cannot lead you to profit.
Mm-mm.
Nobody ever said that. But we are programmed to believe that the only thing that can lead us to profit is getting the job that is easily available to take.
Mhm.
And then we abandon building our purpose. We abandon even finding out what it is. We abandon working on our gifts, which are even stronger. We abandon our visions. We abandon our drives. We abandon our goals. We abandon our dreams. And
Mm.
at the end of their lives, at the end of our lives, we've achieved all these different things, but still we are empty.
Very empty. Is that why
Still,
is that why you named this book The Seeker? Because it seems
of
like it's a
course.
never-ending journey. Tell somebody who is asking themselves, why is it called The Seeker? Because I know I read the book and I
Yes.
love some titles because some titles are very catchy. You want to know
Yes.
why. And
Yes.
then why you start thinking of, I think I know why. But you get deeper into the book, you go, oh, I now get why it is called The Seeker. It is a never-ending seeking, even for you as a coach. So tell us
Absolutely.
why indeed you think that we all need to continuously be seeking.
Yes. The Seeker actually is a book that came from a deep place in my heart.
Mm.
I wrote The Seeker and I decided on the title The Seeker because I realized that in life, number one, it said, ask and you shall be given. Knock and the
And
door shall be open. Seek
you
and you shall
receive.
find. A lot of us don't find in life because we don't
Mm.
seek.
Mm.
Maybe I wasn't naturally born like this. I had the gift, yes, but it's taken time to fine tune it to where it is today because I kept seeking. I kept seeking. There was a time I would charge $500 to do MC work, and there came a time I would charge $10,000. And there's still going to come a time I will charge $100,000
Absolutely.
because I keep seeking.
Mm.
So seeking, the first step is to uncover what it is that you are great at, that you are good at, and start working on it. And if you have a passion on it, you see, skills can be taught, but attitude is the most important. I remember when I had my first IT job with Accenture. No, that was my second job. Sorry. And this lady interviewed me, Cynthia. And when I came and started doing and started working for Accenture, she took me out to coffee one day and we're just chatting, like the manager usually takes out the new
Mm-hmm.
staff. Cynthia had worked for Accenture at that time about 30 years. So she was getting close to 60. And Cynthia said, Gustav, man, when I interviewed you, I interviewed about 25 other people. And in all honesty, in terms of aptitude, technical skills, and all that stuff, you were somewhere in the bottom quadrant. But
Attitude.
your attitude left me asking myself, if we don't want this kind of a person on our team, who do we want? You know why? Because the day we had to have an interview, the time passed and she didn't show up. So she came back, apologized to an email, sorry. Then we rescheduled the interview. When we rescheduled now, she showed up on that interview and she jumped up. I said, hey, Cynthia, how are you? She said, fine. And she said, Gustav, how are you? I said, Cynthia, I feel blessed today. It's an awesome day to be alive. And she said, when you responded like that, I've never heard anybody respond to me like that in the 20 something years I've been working. And you know how I learned that? Let me tell you the story. I know we're probably on top of the hour, but
Okay.
let me tell you the story. When we were living in Minnesota, my wife had a ticket one time and she felt like the ticket was unfair. And so she decided to, how do you call that thing?
Traffic violation ticket.
Yeah, no, a driving ticket. So she
Mm-hmm.
decided to, how do you call that thing?
Go to court and contest
To
it.
go to court and contest the ticket.
Mm-hmm.
So we went down to court in St. Paul. And in the downtown St. Paul area, like most downtowns, the
Parking,
parking
there's no
garage
parking.
is usually a few feet away from the building. So we parked, and as we were walking to the courthouse, we came to the stoplight where we have to go across. And once we're at that stoplight, we're waiting for the lights to turn green. I saw this guy pushing a cart. You could clearly tell he's homeless, and
Homeless.
everything he owns in his life is in that
In
cart.
that card,
And
yeah.
the guy pushes his cart, he comes close to us, and he has this bright smile on his face. And he said, hello, sir. I said, hello, how are you? He said, I feel blessed today. It's an awesome day to be alive. And I
Wow.
looked at that guy. I said, this guy
Wow.
doesn't know when his next meal is coming up. He
Yes.
doesn't even have a home to live in. He doesn't know
Mm.
what the future holds, but he feels blessed today. It's an awesome day to be alive.
And there's power in words.
And from that day, that is the response I've been using for 15 years today.
Mm.
Because even when I use that response, even when I'm not feeling blessed, I start feeling blessed.
Yeah.
Because I'm not speaking only to you, I'm speaking to my own spirit. I'm
Mm-hmm.
speaking to myself. I am saying that, yes, I might have lost a job yesterday, but I still feel blessed today. It's going to be an awesome day to be alive. I might be saying, yes, I might be broke today. I might be saying, yes, my relationship is in turmoil. I might be saying, yes, I'm not feeling like I'm where I'm supposed to be, but I feel blessed because it's an awesome, awesome day to be alive.
Wow. Now, let's talk about coaching. Um, does everyone need a coach? People are like, I don't need one. I know what
Yes,
I'm doing.
yes,
Yeah. And
yes.
if everyone needs a coach, do you need a coach for life? Or is there a time when you say, Coach, I'm good, I've graduated, I'm good, let me go. I think I've achieved my purpose with you. Or do we graduate from one coach to another? If I work with Coach Gustav today and I've got to a level, is it okay to say, okay, we're done, move on to the next coach? Does a coach
Yes,
also need a coach?
yes.
And yes to all my questions.
Everyone,
Let's
yes.
expatiate on that.
Yes to all of that. And let me
Okay,
break it down to you.
please do.
There is no way Michael Jordan would have won multiple rings without Phil Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay? There is
Mm-hmm.
no way Kobe would have. There is no way. Everybody needs a coach because a coach does a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, a coach breaks down time for you.
Mm-hmm.
What a coach does is that a coach helps you to reduce your mistake propensity.
Continuously.
Yes,
So a
because
coaching is not a
every
one-time
new,
done deal. It's a
no, it's
continuous.
not. Because it depends on what you are trying to do. Because every new level requires a new skill.
Yeah,
What brought me this far is not going to take me as far as I want to go. I don't know if I make sense.
that definitely do.
The last many years of my life, the last 7 to 8 years, I've spent over $90,000 on coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I am preparing now to get a coach. He's called Myron Golden. Myron
Wow.
Golden is one of the best business coaches I know. Right? Unfortunately, Myron Golden is charging about $45,000 a year for one-time one-on-one meeting, group sessions every week, and then
Wow.
one-time one-on-one a month. So that's 12 sessions of 1 hour. So So he's charging me $45,000 and I'm preparing to pay him that money. I will pay him at some point. You know why? Because it's not about the time, it's about him helping me to be able to get to that next level. Because when you do that, then you learn the kind of value you get for that. That's why I tell people everyone needs a coach. There's a reason why you get a job, you come into a new company, they give you, they put you on orientation. That's coaching.
Yeah.
All companies give you a career coach. Why? Why don't just let you go? You know how to be an Oracle database administrator. You know how your cybersecurity. They could just let you be working. But most companies have career coaches. They meet with you once a month. Why do they coach you?
And your annual
Because
training
they
are also coaching, annual trainings and monthly trainings,
all
refresher
those things.
courses. Yeah.
Because the human being needs continuous evolution, continuous reinforcement, continuous reminder, and continuous development. Because anytime you stop developing, you begin to die. Right? So I believe everybody needs a coach. And a coach does not necessarily have to be a paid coach. But I encourage paid coaches. The reason why is because people who pay attention.
Yep. If you spend $1 or $1 on
You pay
something,
attention,
you
number
take
one.
that seriously. Yes, you do.
And number two, everything of importance has a price.
Absolutely, yes.
I don't know if it makes sense.
Yes.
Everything of importance have a price. The coach helps you to give you strategies and different things that could unlock the new level for you. It could be you're looking at saving money. It could be you're looking at building, learning how to generate some extra money. It could, whatever. Somebody needs to teach you those things and continue to encourage you. I know how to use the gym. I know how to do all those exercises in the gym, but there's a reason I'm paying a personal trainer. Here in my neighborhood, I go to his garage and we work out together. You know why? Because I realized my problem of not going to the gym wasn't the lack of knowledge about the gym or the skill to do the exercise. I needed an accountability partner. I needed extra motivation because even the motivator needs a motivator.
Amen.
So I said, you know what? It's about my health. I'll pay this guy so that way I have somebody who motivates me to continue to build my physical body and my health, right? I just started with him about 2 months ago. So you have to understand these things. Once we unlock and we get past that mindset limiting thought, right? And of course, we live in a time today to where you want to verify if the coach is a valuable coach for you and what you're trying to do, because we live in a time today because of the internet, everyone says they're a guru and this. No,
Yeah.
I still have a lot to learn. But here's the deal. Here's the deal, my girl, Mabel. Everyone can be a mentor and a mentee. You mentor down to the people who used to be you. And you mentee up to the people who are what you want to become. I don't know if that makes sense.
Makes sense, yeah.
Good. The
That's why
challenge a lot of times.
even the motivator needs a motivator. That's what Mercy
Correct.
says. That's great. Okay.
The challenge is that a lot of times people always want to present themselves bigger than what they are. I don't know if that makes sense.
Now what they
You see me?
are presently.
Correct. If there is something you know that I need, I'll come to you and say, Mabel, how much do I need to pay you for coaching for this? I don't know if it makes sense. I won't act as if I know it already. I know it. It's Gustav. I got it all together. I've worked with the Les Browns. So how can I can't work with no. It takes a certain amount of humility to understand that greatness and growth requires humility.
I agree.
Requires accepting that you don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
If I want to learn how to write at that excellent level, I will not go spinning around. I'll just go to next team and say, Pa, how much do I pay you? Let's meet once a week for 1 hour. And you teach me about frameworks. You teach me about how to open. Where do you give the hook? How do you make people stay to the end? How do you make people read 3 pages for 14 minutes in the time where average attention is 30 seconds on a video? How do you get them to read? Yeah. It's not by traditional medicine or some witch doctor business. It's skill, and you got to learn it.
It is a
right?
skill. Yeah.
So everybody, I believe, needs a coach.
Needs a coach.
It breaks down time and it helps you scale.
Absolutely. I want to read something as we conclude here in your book. You say the journey to the top is limitless, but it requires more than just dreams. It demands actions. I've
Yes.
grown to understand that life gives you what you demand, not what you deserve.
Yes.
This is huge, given the fact that you've mentioned your father, and there have been so many comments about that inheritance that you want to read on here. So life give you what you command or what you deserve. Because if you were just that child who said, my father was next to the president of the country, he was the vice president, I am okay, I deserve this, you would not be
I don't
here
deserve
trying to
nothing.
motivate other people as well. So I think it's a good example that you even put it in writing, that life gives you what you command, not what you think you deserve. A lot of our kids these days are falling apart because they think they deserve in America. You know, that buy
Correct.
me a new car, buy me a new laptop, I deserve
Mm-mm.
this. What have you commanded?
Mm-mm.
What have you worked
Mm-mm.
for? So I
Mm-mm.
really, really love that you put this in here. And finally, Gustav, your self-examination sheets in this book. I tell you, if you buy this book, whenever I buy books, I read them. I don't joke with them. I do read them. And today, thanks to audiobooks, when I drive, I don't waste my time
Yes.
on some things. I try to get into deep books. I have just read so much recently about um caste system in India. I don't know why, but I did that recently. That was I always give myself a time to read something. It could be 2 months to study the history of African Americans, struggle. It could be a month about the caste system, a month about motivating. I do that for myself when I'm driving. It could be a month for music because I also am a radio DJ. I love that. So I give myself time to use my driving to learn things. But in a book like this, where you have the self, you can't see it very well. There are some sheets where you can put notes, self-examination. It is very important. On this page where I am, it says, have you ever been committed to a cause? If yes, reflect and journal. I'm on page 47. Commitment is a strong word when it comes to seeking our purposes. And I did answer the question in this particular chapter, but what would you tell people about commitment and
Um,
getting to the limitless top, like you say in this book?
I'll take a step back before I even get to that. Maybe I'll take a step back. You talk about audiobooks and stuff like that. You see, people don't realize something. One of the beauty of the time we live today, and we had this conversation yesterday with my children. We're having a little debate as we're driving because one of them was saying, today people talk about, oh no, you don't need to go to school to be successful. I say, yes, it's important to put some context around it. Let's not banalize that. It's not as simplistic. But what I think is the bigger thing to understand is that we live in a time today where there are limitless barriers to acquiring knowledge and skills.
Mm-hmm.
What it means is an average person spends 500 hours driving to and back from work in America.
Yeah.
500 hour, an average audio book is about generally about 2 to 3 hours. Some of them could go up to maybe 4. Let's even make it 5. Let's make it 5 hours. So 500 hours a year, you could listen to 50 audiobooks. I don't know if I make sense. And if you listen to 50 audiobooks, it's technically one book every 1 week and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know that if you do that for 5 years consistently, you've covered material which is beyond a master's degree?
That's a lot. Yeah.
Somebody doesn't need to come give you a certificate to say you have a master's, but the knowledge you have in your head, if you've been reading them, making notes like you're making notes and paying attention, the knowledge you have in your head becomes insurmountable. Look behind me.
Yeah.
I didn't get where I am today talking to you with this level of confidence, giving you statistics, giving you stories and all these things by mistake. I don't have cable TV in my house. It's been 8 years today. If I'm not reading a book, I am listening to a podcast that educates my mind and feeds my spirit. So that when I come to give you, to have a chat with Mary on the platform, you go home with something valuable, not
Absolutely.
fluff, not bullshit,
And
not
somebody
blabbing
said that
left and
here,
right.
that each time I listen to Gustav, I learned something. Somebody did put that in the chat. So you're doing a lot.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. There's an intention to it. So
Yeah.
if you're listening to audiobooks, people need to understand. You're driving to work. Yes, I'm not saying don't listen to music, but dedicate some time to build your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Dedicate some time to know what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Dedicate some time to strengthen your spirit and your mind because we live today in a knowledge and skill economy. Rebel, We live in a knowledge and skill economy. We are no longer in the economy where the people who are always going to be on the top are the people who are the most certified or qualified with degrees. No, 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 no. It's still
Yes.
important, but people can acquire the knowledge without necessarily going through a formal structured class.
Yeah.
There are programs that you need to, but there are a lot of programs that I worked in IT for 12 years. I didn't have to have no degree in computer. God, I had a degree in law. I went and did a small certification program and I'm able to go work with computers. So you are telling me that knowledge can just disappear because I didn't go to computer studies or something? So what I'm just trying to say is, yes, it is important, but people need to understand that there is possibility in acquiring knowledge like that. Now, talking about commitment,
Yep.
there is a difference because people, right? There are different kinds of people. There are people who want it. These are people who want to do it when they feel like. And there are people who are committed to it. Committed involves a decision. A decision, the word decision comes from the Greek word, I think it's Greek or Latin, called day. Day means option, and the other option is death.
Wow.
So you're
So there's no
doing it.
option. There's no option.
There's no option. So commitment is a decision. A decision means you've
That is it.
decided that this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to go about it. I don't know it all, but as I know, as far as I know, I'll keep going. It's like when you're driving in the fog.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't see up to 1 feet away from you. You see 30, 100 foot or whatever it is. You just keep going. And when you get there, you will see the next level. When you get there, you see the next level. When you get there, you see the next level. That's how it works. So if you're really looking at seriously getting your life to that place of significance, then there's also a certain amount of commitment that is required.
Wow. You know, I did say in the beginning that we have about an hour to talk. We've talked for an hour and 40 minutes. So,
When
and
you
it seems
talked
like we're
about an
just,
hour, I was just laughing.
I know, I like we're just starting, but this is beautiful. And I've loved the consistency of the people in the chat who are appreciating what you do, learning from you, and saying that, yes, commitment comes with a lot of sacrifice to have a plan A and then a plan A. That's what Dr. Mercy is saying.
That's
Gustav,
awesome. A plan
man,
A and a plan A. I
a
love
plan
that.
A and a plan A, yes, that is it.
Yeah. Mhm.
You are a person to relate with people. Reach out to Gustav on social media. Reach out to him on LinkedIn. Get this book, The Seeker, because we're all seeking. And like he said, all coaches need coaches. The
Yes.
motivator needs a motivator. So we are
Mhm.
all still seeking. This is a very good
Great.
title, by
I'll
the
share
way.
the link so you can pin it on the comment
Pin
of
it
this
on the
video.
comment as well. So if you have something to say to anybody who might be thinking that, I can do it by myself. I don't need help. I'm okay. What would you say? Even if they are the Bill Gates of the world, the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world, what would you tell such a person?
It's certainly a wrong approach.
Mm.
It's certainly a wrong approach because the truth of the matter is the people I aspire to, the people I look up to inspire me to get to where they are use coaches. The people they look up to leverage coaches. So there is a reason why they do that. The reason why they do that is because all you know is all you know. All you know is all you know until you know that you don't know.
Yeah.
And then somebody else makes you know more. Okay? And coaching generally, people need to understand the whole idea behind coaching is all about improvement towards a goal. That's really the bottom line.
Yeah.
When you teach your daughter or your son how to drive, that's coaching. When you teach your son or your daughter how to ride a bicycle for the first time, that's coaching. Come on now, let's go. Keep going.
So
Hey,
what do
yes,
you
put your
really
feet up.
want?
Hey,
Yeah.
don't do that. Yeah, that's coaching.
Yeah.
So sometimes people need to understand that coaching might not necessarily be some over sophisticated thing. If you know yourself and you know you are somebody who just needs somebody to hold you accountable, And you know that what is keeping you from getting to that next level is
Mm.
because you cannot hold yourself accountable. It's worth it to pay somebody to hold you
Getting a
accountable.
coach. Yeah. Hmm.
I remember there was an NFL player who used to play for Minnesota Vikings. And talking about that, shout out to your boy JJ.
JJ
I'm going to
Vikings.
connect with him, right?
Thank
And
you.
this guy used to be a nose tackle from, at that time he came from Buffalo Bills. I forget his name.
That kid would know the name right away if JJ were
He
here.
would know the name. If JJ was here, he would know. I know that. I know that was in the early 2000s. This guy was a Pro Bowl player. And they asked him a question on after he retired. They asked him a question because about seven, I think it's 2 out of 3 NFL players file for bankruptcy 3 to 5, 70% file for bankruptcy 3 to 5 years after retiring. They
Wow.
blow their money. So they asked him how he was able to still maintain his money and everything. And he said he knew what his challenge was. So he gave the power of attorney to his trusted accountant with instructions signed that he could only be paid X amount of money a month from his salary.
That's coaching.
I don't know if it makes sense.
A lot of
So every
sense.
month the guy gave him, whether it was $10,000, after paying his house and all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
give him 10,000 or something. That's it. He said he needed somebody to protect him from his own self.
Mm.
I don't know if it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what we're talking about. Listen, nothing breaks down time and accelerates you to your goal like somebody who is there and helping you to prevent you from making the same mistakes.
Yeah.
That's why today people can build businesses faster than they used to do 30 years ago because access to information and coaching is easier
Widely
and
available.
available, right? Because you need to understand people don't pay for information, people pay for transformation.
Yeah. Information is already available
Yeah,
out there. Wow.
correct.
Thank you so much. Well, let me tell Edith. Edith says that someone had told her to reach out to you about her healthcare foundation. Please do so. Edith, do so. You're going to get the help that you need. Thank you so much, Gustav, Achu, for
Awesome.
being here. I love the way you talk about, I'm 48. So let me just tell you now, I'm on the list to be on that 50th birthday party. And it's going to happen. So let's
Yeah,
pray
it's
for
coming
life.
up.
It's coming up. So let's
That's
pray for
right.
God to keep us because I mean, when you say that, I know that there's something cooking, okay? So it will come to pass.
It's a birthday. It's a celebration with me every day.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. It's
I
a
tell
great day to
you,
be alive, like you
it
said.
has to
I
be. It
love
has to
that.
be. No, the joy, honor, and pleasure was mine, Mabel. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate the time. Of course, it's always a joy, pumping pleasure, just coming on your platform. I see all the great work you do, and I certainly want to encourage people to stay posted. Right, to not only stay posted, but to also find it in themselves. Ask God.
Mhm.
Spend time with yourself. Pray. Seek down in your spirit. Identify what is it that is your gift. What is it that is your calling? What is it that is that purpose? Why are you here? So that in all the things you do, you can also carve out some time to start working on that thing that fits your soul. I say this because in this life, everyone is either in a problem, heading out of a problem, or heading towards one.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. So, yes, there are things in your life that might have hit you hard, that might have happened to you that convinced your subconscious to believe that maybe you're not smart enough, you are not intelligent, you are not capable, you are not able, you don't deserve a place. I want to tell you today that all of that was a lie because you're smart, you're intelligent, and you are enough. You always have to remember that if you are not on the table, then you are most likely in the menu.
Mm. Mm-mm.
So until the next time, be well, be blessed, and by all means, never stop being a blessing to somebody.
Don't go yet. Give us an African proverb.
You want me to give you another one?
Give us an African proverb. So on Talk to Me Africa, I charge all my guests with an African proverb because Africans speak in a way
I
that you need to interpret what they say sometimes to understand what they're trying to communicate to you or with you. So if you didn't grow
correct.
up in an African environment, it might be hard for you to decode some of those proverbs. So
Uh-huh.
if you have one, please share with us and then try to
Let
tell
me
us what it
see.
means.
I have a. There is no shortcut to the top of the palm tree.
Yes.
Mm. Getting on top of the palm tree, you must follow the straight path to it, right? You might go around the tree, you might zigzag, but there's no shortcut. You still have to go through the thorns and all of that. There's another one, I like this one. It says, it's an Igbo proverb, and it says, the eye eats before the mouth.
Mm.
And that one is related to packaging. Right? I have a coaching client who came to me, brilliant guy, has a wonderful product. And when I started working with him, he didn't realize what the challenge was. Simple. His packaging.
Wow. The
Packaging
eye
doesn't
eats
only
before the
mean the
mouth.
physical packaging.
Yeah.
Packaging also means the subconscious presentation. There is a reason why you are seeing the background I presented to you today. There is a reason why I have this shirt and I have this hat on. There's a reason why I have this microphone. There's a reason why I talk and smile a certain way. There's a reason why I intone my voice up, I bring it down, I laugh, I turn, I do all those things. It's intentional. That's how I present. There's a reason why you see Mabel the way you see her. There's a reason why she wants an African proverb. That is part of packaging of Talk to Me Africa.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's a platform that helps to communicate Africa from the perspective of light, from a visionary perspective.
You
So,
got
guys,
it.
you must understand the role of why the eye eats before the mouth. I don't care how tasty the food is. If you don't present it right, I am not eating.
No.
That's why I don't eat kui. The way it looks,
Yeah.
I cannot handle it in my mouth. I
Your
know
eye
it
can't
is
even
tasty.
taste it. Yes, so your mouth can't even eat it.
My eyes haven't eaten, so my mouth cannot taste it. That is how life is. Don't tell people, make judgment based on how they perceive you in the first 30 seconds. That's the reality of the matter. You can go argue with the ancestors. That's how human beings are wired. Right?
Yet we also say that do not judge a book by its cover. So that's another, let's
But
leave
you
it at
see,
that.
no. In the times we live, they judge the book by the cover.
I do.
If you see this, the title, The Seeker Doesn't Attract You, what business do you have open in the damn book?
Yeah.
I don't know if it makes sense.
Yeah.
So these things are very, very important.
Yeah.
You don't have a second chance to make a first impression. All those things are important. Each time I come on any platform, I bring in my all, I talk my heart out, because I know that there is somebody who might be seeing me for the first, the second, the third time, and each time they have to go back with something that they can put to use, and they will come back to say their life changed a certain way.
Yes. Woo. Please, I know this is not the last time you'll be on Talk to Me Africa. You're so impactful with your message. Let's do this another time again. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you
joy,
so
honor,
much.
and pleasure is mine.
Yes. Thank you everyone who tuned in, and thanks for all your comments and questions. And let's pin the sticker on the video so people can grab a copy.
Yeah, wonderful.
Have
Wonderful.
a
Thank you.
blessed Sunday and a wonderful beginning of next week.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure, baby. You take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye for now.
Bye.